Hi guys, welcome to the Baking with the Vanilla Pod, and today I'm going to share a very cute video with you guys. I'm going to do the lazy unicorn cake topper. Now this can be used as a cake topper or kept beside the cake. This cake was really trending, so I thought I would make this cute little unicorn. It's completely edible, made out of fondant, so you're going to need some fondant, some food coloring and some fondant tools. So to begin with, you need to take a ball of fondant that weighs about 100 to 150 grams, and that's going to be its body. So as you can see in this clip, I'm shaping its belly. It's going to have a cute little belly which is filled with a lot of cake. So I'm going to make the belly and I'm going to shape its upper body. Now you want to make sure that when you shape its body, you don't want it to dry flat. You want it to dry on an angle so it looks like it's sleeping and not dead. So make sure you dry the upper body on an angle. And then you take two balls of fondant that weighs about 50 to 60 grams and they are going to be its legs. So to shape its legs, you're going to make them into thin cylinders and make sure both your fondant balls are equal, and then shape them into a cylinder. Once you're happy with its shape, just make sure you taper it towards the top and then cut it on an angle so you can stick it to its body and it sits there seamlessly. And then I'm going to use a bit of water to attach it to its body, and I'm going to use a fondant tool. This is a bowling tool that I'm going to use to make an indentation on its sides so that I can stick its legs in that indentation, and then it looks really seamless. Then I'm going to use this tool to just smooth it all out so it looks all neat. Then I'm going to take two small balls of fondant which weigh about 25 to 30 grams, and I'm going to make its arms. You're going to use the same techniques you used for its legs and shape them into a cylinder and taper it on the top. And after you are happy with the shape, you're going to again cut it on an angle so you can stick it nicely to its body. And again, I'm going to use some water to stick it to its body. And then I'm just going to use a fondant tool to give it some details so that it looks quite real. So I'm going to define its elbows, I'm going to give it some hoofs and make it look more realistic. And then I'm also going to give it a cute little belly button. Then we are going to shape its head, and you're going to need about 50 to 55 grams of fondant. Now you don't want it to be round, you want it to be a little bit oval, and then you want to flatten it from the top, and you want it to be tapering towards its head so that you get a good definition of its head and its mouth. And as you can see in this clip, I am making its nose. I'm sculpting its nose by just gathering some fondant from the side towards the center, so it forms its nose, and then you also get hollows for its eyes. And then I'm going to use a fondant tool to give it its nostrils. Now I'm using a fondant tool to give definition to its mouth and its smile. So I'm just cutting in through some fondant, and then I'm going to use a fondant tool to actually split open the fondant so it looks more three-dimensional and it looks like it's smiling. Then I'm using some pink fondant to add inside the mouth, so again it gives it more three-dimensional look. Then I'm using a tiny bit of pink fondant to make its tongue. Then I'm going to use two tiny bits of white fondant to make its ears. And then I'm going to use some pink fondant to give it a little bit more depth, and stick a tiny bit onto the white part. Then I'm using a strand of white fondant to make its horn. You obviously have to have the horn, otherwise it's not going to be a unicorn. So once you make the horn, you want to cut a bit from the bottom so it's easier to stick onto its head. And then just make a little bit of indentation on top of its head to stick its ears and the horn. And I'm just going to use a little bit of water. Then using a very small and tiny paintbrush or a toothpick, you want to draw its eyes. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of blush on its cheek. I'm just using some edible luster dust, and I'm just going to brush it on its cheek so it looks like a cute little blush. I've also colored the unicorn horn in some gold luster dust just to make it look extra magical. And now I'm going to make the unicorn mane, and obviously it has to be colorful. So I'm using pink, blue and purple, but you can go ahead and use any colors of your choice. Just roll out thin strands of fondant and attach it to its head. And just start with a small fringe in the front, and then you can extend its hair at the back. And I'm using the same colored fondant and the same technique to make its tail. And then I'm using a cocktail stick or a toothpick to attach its head, and I'm going to put just a little bit of water on its neck and then attach the head. Now you want to make sure you use some support to draw its head so that it doesn't fall over. And also I've colored its hooves in some gold lusters, again to just make it look more magical. And yes, that's it. The unicorn is ready. It's so cute. You can use it as a cake topper, make it sit besides a cake. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big fat thumbs up and also share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel, The Baking with the Vanilla Pod. And also follow us on our social media, Instagram and Facebook, and do tag us if you make any of our creations. And do not forget to press that bell icon. You will get notified whenever we upload a new video. Until next time, happy baking.